It's your boy Logic, yo, and I got my beautiful co-host.
Hi guys, it's your girl Nate. Hello, yellow.
Make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. And as you know, this is one thing for sure,
Two things for certain,
baby. Let's go. Let's follow tradition, my love. How was your, matter of fact, how was your month?
We're switching it up because apparently we forgot to record the first intro, so now we have to do a second take. I told you I was gonna keep it real, raw, unedited. I always tell you guys the truth.
You see my look?
Lewis is a little.
All right. So talk about your month, but not this month. Let's talk about last month. Let's do a month recap.
A month recap? Oh my God. If
So
only
we're
had a
gonna think
montage to show you about what happened in the last month.
There's 4 weeks in a month, right?
There's 4 weeks in a month.
So talk about your 4 Fridays.
All right, let's take a look at the calendar here because I don't even know what I had for dinner last night. So
that's bullshit.
Let's do this.
You need to be a fool.
We are recording July 3rd. Let's see. Last month, June. Let's see. I finished school, and then my cousin came.
Hold on. You finished school? Like graduated?
Yes.
She graduated, y'all. Can we get a round of applause, please?
Thank you.
Just make it clap.
Thank you.
Just make it clap. You guys don't know that song?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Sean Paul? What? You don't know about Sean Paul? Just give me the light and Pastor Joe.
Do another song.
Feel eternal.
Do a mainstream song.
Yeah. Sean Paul. I don't really care what people say. I don't know when no one knows.
I think I do. Wait, Sean. I think I do know Sean Paul, but I don't listen. I only listen to the mainstream songs, not like the.
Rockin' my baby. No.
Probably, yeah.
Or I'm still in love with you, girl.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
You know that one. I'm still in love. Okay.
That's not gonna monetized.
You graduated, girl.
Yes.
Hello?
Finally.
That's a big.
After forever. You want to know something funny? So, I go to FIU, and in front of the Graham Center, in one of the buildings, there is the FIU seal. And you're not supposed to step on it because they say that if you step on it, you get cursed and you're not graduating.
Yo, you're a Vasquez. Bump that. Own that. You feel me?
Let me tell you.
She a Vasquez, yo. Ain't no holding back, girl.
I thought you were gonna vape in here.
All right, what you talking about? They ain't see nothing. All up in the Kool-Aid, don't even know the flavor. Continue.
What flavor is that?
I can fart. But I guarantee you ain't gonna like that one.
Anyways.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
What?
Why is it when people say they farted, our natural instinct is to try to smell for it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, that throws me off. It's like, I just farted. For some reason, I go, I look for it, and it's like, what is wrong with me?
I don't know.
Why are we like that?
It should be, oh, you did?
Right?
But we don't do that.
Our natural instinct's like, let me test it out.
And then,
Yeah, like, continue.
I don't know why, but anyways.
ADD kicked in.
I accidentally stepped. I'm pretty sure I accidentally stepped on the seal, and I was like, "Oh my God, whatever." There was a point in my college life career that one summer I stopped going to class because it was after the drop date, so I just stopped going. I ended up failing it, and then FAFSA was like, "You failed. You got to pay us back." So I couldn't go to school in the fall semester because I had to pay off that debt, and then I ended up going back in the spring, and then. It was just, I was prolonging my graduation date. And next thing you know, my supposed graduation date came and I wasn't. And I'm like, oh my God, I just lost like a year, this and that. And I was really losing hope. I was this close. So guys, let me tell you, I was so close to just being like, let me just drop out. Like, I'm just going to stop going. Like, what's the point? I was so discouraged. I was tired.
What made you flip that switch?
I think I talked to Bert about it, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to Mr. Oliva.
I'm pretty sure.
#1 innovator speaker. The one who will make you.
I also had talked about it with someone else. I'll tell you after. And I talked to a few people, and I just got a different perspective, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep going. I just stopped thinking about it. I stopped thinking about it and I just did it. I'm like, let me focus on something else and keep doing what I'm doing. And here I am, finally awaiting my graduation date.
So for last month, what was the biggest come up for you that you felt that was deeply needed and happy that it happened for last month, other than graduation? Or was it the graduation?
Well, it was my last day of class, and then the professor was like, okay, that's it, you guys, like, the class is over. And it was just a bittersweet feeling because some of the students still had 1 semester left to graduate, but this was my semester to graduate, and I was like, that's it. This is the only class I'm taking, the only class I need left to graduate, and then after this, my application for graduation is done. I'm just awaiting the ceremony date.
Okay. Well, if I do a recap for my month, yo, I'm proud of myself. Being able to finalize the paperwork for the business.
Oh, yes.
Being able to really understand myself and put up the boundaries that I need. I would say for last month to where I'm at now, I'm most proud of my growth.
Your growth.
My growth.
I'm proud of your growth.
Thank you.
You've grown a lot.
Thank you. I even have a little hair right here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming back. It's not a shadow. It might be some dirt. I don't know. But with that,
let's go into our first topic.
Our first topic is I'm doing a project, a 21-day challenge, right? So for 21 days, I'll be asking certain people on my follower or my subscribers questions in these 21 days. So I'm going to share the first question I asked. We got to day 3, which day 3 is today. And I'm going to break it down for you guys and let us know what you feel. Write it in the comments, hit us up on the email, or check out our page, 1424podcast.com.
Woo!
Okay.
We got a website.
So I'm not going to go through all the questionnaires because I don't want to ruin it for those participating in the project.
Okay.
The first question that I asked these people were, how do you feel when someone calls your name?
In what way?
Just calls your name, your full name. When someone calls your full name, how do you feel about that? Before I share what they shared with me.
I feel noticed.
Okay.
Like, it feels good. I associate it with, yes, who needs me? Who's calling me? Like,
you don't
like,
associate it with, like, being in trouble or anything?
No,
Okay.
I didn't really get in trouble when I was a kid. So when somebody calls my name, you know, to me, my first instinct is, why are they calling my name? Like, in a good way. Like, what? Like, why did I caught their attention?
But overall, it feels good to be called by your full name.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question that I asked the participants were, what matters more to you, respect or being loved, and why? Would you answer that? Mind you, I'm going to share their answer, but I want to hear, since we're raw right now.
So, okay. The majority, I'd rather be respected, but I would really want to be loved by my parents and my family, my boyfriend, all that stuff. Like, those are the people that matter to me, that I want to be loved by. Everyone else, I would want to be respected.
Okay. The third question, right, is...
Keep them coming.
Which do you favor, equality or fairness? And why?
Fairness.
Also, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fairness, why is that?
I think we had talked about this a while ago, where
Previously.
like not everything that's like considered equal is fair, because if you and me both get something that's considered equal, like an equal amount of something, maybe you hold a bigger advantage to it because maybe of your, I don't know, maybe your height or how strong you are or your intelligence, depending on what it is. What would be fair is if we get a different amount of like an object or like a project. It's not the same, but it's fair based on our skills and our quality and how we're able to accomplish it.
Okay.
So it's basically adjusted to how you're able to get it done.
Okay. So, at this point, I'm going to share with you guys. I liked your answer, by the way.
Thank you.
So, I asked my homegirl, Sharon, how does it feel to be called by your full government? Her reply was, as if someone's mad or I'm in trouble. So I doubled up on that. I said, okay, on a side note, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and said your full name and told yourself you are beautiful and successful, etc.? She basically said, it's been a while. So, to go to the others, one of my followers, Crystal, goes, she prefers not to be called by it. And I asked her on the side note question. She's like, I don't do that, unfortunately, And I was like, okay. Again, I'm getting everyone's pool just to see difference from generation, woman versus male. So the first two are women. And then I had my boy Andre, and I said, it's a feeling. Back in the day, it meant I was in trouble. Now it means that people are looking up to you for advice or thoughts. You have to earn their trust or respect. So eventually, what is showing me that as we have grown, that feeling has changed, especially like in your profession. It's like flattering when someone says your full name because you're at a business level. You're at a prospect level where it's like, okay, we're cordial and we're authority. It's not so much as a child's mindset because, Jason Anthony Denizard. And
get over here right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Usually, like, now as an adult, like, what would make me feel like if I'm in trouble is not being called by my full name, is being called, hey, Nadia, I need to speak with you for a moment. Can you please close the door behind you? That, I'm like, oh, my God, what did I do?
And then also when I think about it, too, man, a lot of us, I guess, were badasses when we were kids. Because that was normally the reaction I got. I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm in trouble. Kiki, while she was on vacation, our Kiki.
No, yeah.
Right? She says, it depends who calls me and what tone they use. But usually it feels good. I feel respected. Now, mind you, Kiki's young, like your age. You see the difference between because like Dre, he's older. It seems to me like the ones who are older, we usually associate it with trouble, but younger people associate it with being respected.
My parents never really called me by my name when I'm in trouble. Like, I did stuff that I got in trouble for, but how I knew I was in trouble is because, for example, like my mom, like if I did some out-of-pocket shit that really pissed her off, she'd be like, ven acá ahora mismo. Pero ¿por qué hiciste eso? Like, when she'd be like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Like that, she moved like that too.
Yeah. Or my dad.
I can't imagine your mom like that. She's so sweet.
No, she can get feisty.
So I asked Kiki the same thing. She says, it's been a while. What I noticed, a lot of people have said it's been a while. A lot of us don't look in the mirror. I firmly believe as I'm searching my pursuit of happiness and my success, you have to get in the habit when you wake up in the mirror, it's like, for you, I'm that bitch. I got this. I made my way.
I hate the world when I wake up.
I'd
rather go back to sleep. I'm not a morning person.
Right. Christy basically says, for the first question, she's like, my mama is calling you and you're in trouble. And I asked her, when was the last time you gave yourself praise in front of the mirror? She said about a month ago. Also, the beautiful thing is she's teaching her daughter affirmations because we understand and recognize the power of the tongue. We tell ourselves what we can and what we can't do. And we also we produce a future that could be negative if we tell ourselves that we're negative or put our name associated with something negative, right? I have Janice, who basically said, proud when she hears her first and last name called. I love my name. It's who I am. It's a little weird hearing it from strangers. You don't really know because it feels like they're all in your business. But apart from that, I feel proud to be called by my full name. There's so much power in your name that I feel like some people don't understand that. And then, again, I asked her the same thing. When was the last time you told yourself, you're beautiful, you're worth it, you got this? A long time. So at some point, you realize there's a disconnect. Like, where do we stop telling ourselves that? Sebastian basically said, If it's in a professional setting, work, school, government affair, etc., it feels good. Like my name and hearing the full thing gives you a sense of pride. That's where I feel the same way too. You know, because it's like, damn, you know, my name is Jason. Your name is Natalie. There's power in that. You know, like when you're in a relationship, if your man doesn't call you babe, he's like, Natalie. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? What happened? You know, like it's crazy, right?
I'm not Natalie, I'm babe. What do you mean?
You feel me? And with him, he's like, I never done that before. He's never gave himself affirmations. Pretty much my best friend put where did she put? Oh, here we go. I think the best way to describe it is intimidated, chill down my spine. I think it goes to where my mom used to say my full name whenever I was in trouble. When you basically think about it, that's literally most times that we heard our full name was in a relatable instance of something gone wrong or form of discipline.
Yeah.
And then, again, she's one of those who's never gave herself affirmation.
What about the question where you asked, would you rather be loved or respected?
I'm going to get to that next right now. I do want to share, before I get to that, guys, the importance of telling yourself you're beautiful, the importance of giving yourself praise. We are responsible for our happiness. And that's something that I asked that because I wanted to see where people are at and how they focus and how they really get the ball moving. So the second question I asked, which was a crazy response, is respect to being loved. Jesse says, at this point in time in my life, I would choose being respected over love, but I also believe that someone truly loves you, it comes with respect.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work both ways. I could respect someone and not like them or love them. And people out here saying they love you, but it's not real because they don't respect you. I think that was such a profound...
Bars.
For sure. For sure.
I like that one.
You know, and I think that's crazy. So I asked Cassie, who's married, and her response was, respect. Without respect, there is no love. So you see, like, there's similarities.
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. You really can't separate it. So also, I'm going to jump to the third question I asked, and I think Crystal really hit it on the nail.
What was the question?
This question that I had asked her is, which do you favor, equality or fairness?
Right.
Now, this one we're going to get crazy with. Fairness doesn't exist and equality is not profitable, so neither. Now, mind you, I said, can you educate me on why the way you feel that way? Well, life isn't fair. There's nothing fair about it. There's always a less than or greater than. Nothing is ever completely equal. It's a facade people paint their minds to make them feel like they suck less. If you're equal, you ain't doing shit with your life and settling for basic. Now, I say that's a strong response, and I feel her on that. Because when you think about it, fairness and equality, right? There's a picture I posted today because of the question I asked.
Yeah.
And it shows a fence, and one is short, one is medium height, one is tall. One could see over the fence, one could basically see midway, kind of lower, and one's too short. And that picture represents equality. The picture that represents fairness is the tall guy who could already see, he doesn't get to stand on the box. But the ones who are too short get the right amount of boxes to be at the same level to view the same thing. Now, the reason why I asked that is, that question for me is crazy because you're a woman, you're a man. I mean, I'm a man, right?
Yeah.
Val gave feedback on that, and what she said literally hit me hard, but I liked it. Fairness and equality she chose. Equality does not really exist. It can't. We're all different. For instance, most men are physically stronger than most women. They will never be equal. But men and women can treat each other fairly. Now, think about that for a second. And I mess with that heavy because it's true. And this is why I could admit when I could be wrong on certain things. We always talked about equality and fairness as topics before, but I never really put it in that state of mind of it. We can never be equal because you're a woman and I'm a man. But what makes our partnership work is I treat you fairly. Because fairly is acknowledging the handicap that one may have compared to the other. And in anything for things to be structured, it has to be fair. But we all know life is not fair.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's true. Life isn't fair. You have to. One has to do their due diligence to try to make it fair. Like, like the example that you said, there's like a fence and there different people with different heights. The tall guy already has the advantage to see over the fence. Some people are either below average, you know, they can't see. So, you know, in that case, you try to do your due diligence by building a step stool for yourself, buying one, building one to give yourself that advantage, because sometimes it's not always going to be handed to you.
So I want to focus on just the third question I asked these people today. As we focus on that, the equality, you know who Martin Luther King is, right? One of his most profound statement was, let us be judged by the content of our character, not the skin color. Right? So it used to be like during the civil rights movement, the main focus was equality. Being able to have the same opportunity to go for something, but not caring about fairness because the result was based on how well you put it. Because some may say that if you make everything equal, it doesn't work that way. It can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it depends what context you're using it in.
I just think...
Well, let's take it to the transgender athletes, right?
Right. Oh, right.
They all have an equal opportunity to participate and go for the gold, the silver, the bronze.
Right.
But because it's not fair, it becomes an irritant to the situation because you're robbing people with the fairness. So I think it can honestly be, it's a double-edged knife when you think about it. Depending on what context you use it in.
The miscommunication of the word. So you use the word equality and you really want, basically the point that you're trying to get at in the civil rights movement is, oh, well, you know, segregation shouldn't exist. Blacks shouldn't have to be should be able to vote.
Basically have the same equality as the next man.
Shouldn't have to use their own bathrooms because, you know.
But the fairness, why do you think fairness automatically gets ruled as a negative in most cases? Because if you think about it, it does. When people say, well, life is not fair. Yes, we know that. But if we have the power to make things fair, should we?
I think we should.
Why?
At least try to.
Why?
Try to.
In your opinion, why should we?
There are certain things in life that can't be equal. You know, if we try to think of it as like men and women, for example, you know, if you try to have equal opportunity for a certain activity or a certain job, some jobs women will do better than others than men, and other jobs men will do a lot better than women. What would be fair is assigning different tasks to different people based on their skill set and how well they can accomplish it. That would be the hope. You know, that would be something we could strive for, because if we strive for fairness, then we strive for people accomplishing certain tasks that is within their reach.
Facts. Okay.
In my opinion, you know.
I can respect that. To me, it's like, okay, equality, being a black man, right? Not to make it, one of the biggest argument is like, well, you know, you gotta, as a black man, I gotta try twice as hard to get half as far.
Right.
That's the unfairness of it. But the equality is I get to try. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like fairness can sometimes dictate the whole meaning of something important, because it takes away more than it gives. Because I feel like fairness with certain cases comes as a negative. Allow me to explain, right? Harvard did a study where it showed that if you were white, you were less likely to get approved to go to the school. But if you're Latino or black, you get pushed through. The reason being for it is like, well, that's not fair, you know? Or like the same thing with scholarships. Some people feel like scholarships ain't fair because it's like, damn, I worked my ass off. You're telling me I gotta pay, but this person can get on because they're a person of color or they got a disability. How does that make me feel like I have a spot? You know, like that's the craziness. How do you think we have to go about it to really make this work, to give a better understanding? Because now, as I'm educated on it, I see that fairness is actually very important, dependent on the circumstances, though.
Right. I mean, in that specific case, you really have to put perspective into it, because if you use the example of like the scholarships, if you are in a position to pay for school, then a lot of people don't have that type of blessing. You know, a lot of people are not in a position at all to give a single penny to education because they can't afford it. So if they have a scholarship, then that's good. Now it's a different story if I believe education should be free, because I mean,
yeah,
that's a different story. I mean,
let's talk about your case.
Okay,
you have an apartment, right?
Yeah.
Someone will be like, well, that's not fair.
Okay, why?
You know, because
I have one and they don't?
No, because how you acquired it versus how the normal person would have to acquire it. It's like there's some people who feel like because their parents did the responsible thing and set them up, that it disqualifies them from a hardship. Right. Because it's like, nah, I have to get it out the mud. You were given it. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. Now, what would you say to that, to take away that negativity? What would be your reasoning to educate the person? Well, yeah, I understand it's not fair, but at the same time, you still have the equal opportunity to get what I have. Right.
So to be fair, you know, technically speaking, it's not mine, because my parents, you know, we didn't have the luxury to buy before the economy went pretty bad.
Like most of us.
Right. So, you know, I was able to get together with my boyfriend, and he did have that opportunity. So we're taking advantage of it. You know, if we didn't have this opportunity of getting the apartment at, like, his apartment, that's not our apartment, at a low cost, if it wasn't for that job opportunity that I had, let's say it was somewhere else in another city, I would be down to moving out. You know, like, I have to do what it takes to complete my education, build my career, save my money, because something that my parents always taught me is to always study, stay in school, graduate, work hard, you know, because it pays off. I want to be able to earn it. I want to be able to give my parents a house, something that they can call their own. And the only way that I can do that is, now that I finally graduated, because of my degree, I was able to get this promotion, because that's one of the requirements. And then hopefully in the future, you know, I'll save my money, get a home for my parents. You know, these are small steps that I'm taking towards this goal and this vision that I have. And if I have to move out of the city or out of the state in order to save money to do so, then I have to do it, because, you know, like,
you're focused.
I'm focused. If I am set on something, then again, sacrifice. I have to be willing to make certain sacrifices or certain compromises to achieve what I really want. If I don't think it's worth it, then that's okay, because it's up to me, you know?
I feel that. I remember a cat I was cool with, I had to, you know how you get into the whole debate. This is when Trump was in office, and we got into a real argument, and the argument was that, you know, I called him out. He's like, oh, I did it, da-da-da. You know, you have the same equal opportunity. I had to work for my. I'm like, dude, you got your house at 16. You got a brand new house, paid off, no bills, no mortgage, at 16. How many other 16s do you know? And I said, it's not fair. He's like, oh, but my grandfather came to this country and had to work his ass off and push through it. And I was like, yeah, but it's still not fair. He's like, how is it not fair if he had the same equal opportunity? It's like, look at you right now. You have your own house, right? Your grandfather came from another country to work hard, just like my grandfather did. But the difference is the fairness factor comes in because, yes, both men came to a country. Both men are of a different race, not white, one Hispanic, my grandfather being Haitian, black. And I have to tell him, the reason the fairness comes in is because, yes, your grandfather had the same equal opportunities as my grandfather, but because the color of my grandfather's skin versus your grandfather being white, he had less obstacles to go through in order to make something of himself.
Right.
That's the fairness that I have a problem with. And that's what gets me upset. And we took it to the next level. I was like, look at you now. You have your own crib. You were properly set up. I can't hate on you for that. But you also can't dismiss my struggles, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, as I tell you guys, and I told him, is the same fight your grandfather had to fight, you're no longer fighting. But the same fight my grandfather had to fight, I'm still fighting. That's where it hits hard. And I feel like society has taken fairness and contaminated it, which in certain aspects they have. But it's important to understand that fairness is sometimes needed depending on what circumstance you're dealing with. And that fairness is like, yo, if I had less obstacles, I'll be where you were at. Oh, you're using it as a crutch. No, that's evident. You know Ben Shapiro, right? One thing he's always said, and I'm mad because he always ends up debating like these people of color who are not well-rounded or educated enough to honestly deal with someone of his caliber. But he says it, oh, black people victimize themselves and they make excuses to not excel. It's like, no. It's just we live in a country, even though they say they treat us equally, they don't treat us fairly. You get what I'm saying? So I could apply for a job like the white man can, but because I'm a person of color, and that basically makes it harder. You know what I'm saying? Think about work-wise. I made up 5% of the company when it comes to black employees when I was working. That right there is what they understand, and they acknowledge that the fairness needs to be recognized. I just feel like nowadays people take advantage of that because the fairness rule could be also used as a crutch. And I think that's why people don't care for fairness, because it's handicapped and people abuse the fairness argument. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
Where do you think that lies, and how do you think we could fix that? Truthfully, how do you feel? What do you... Like, honestly, we're not going to have 100% solution, but you as a woman, we'll take it to the next degree. We're equal, but life treats you unfair versus me. In what case? Well, let's see. Because I'm a man, you know, I'm considered basically higher above you, or, you know what I'm saying? The whole sexist, misogynistic thing.
You could probably get paid more.
Right? And then the argument comes, okay, you have the equal opportunity as a woman compared to me, but the fairness is not there. Just like, okay, pregnancy, you know, like you get taken out, you give children, you have to basically spend more for feminine products because you get your time of the month type shit. But the fairness factor is not put in because it's like, well, they're equal. What more do you want? But yet we looked upon weak when we asked for fairness. What do we do about that? What would you like to see change about that as a woman in that case?
Honestly, we all have to do our own parts, like individually.
When you say do our own parts, like break it down for me, because again, you're a woman, we're equal. Most cases, biologically, we're not, but the fairness factor, you know, like some shorties like, oh, well, there's more CEOs and there's more men in power than there are women. That's not fair. What would you say to those women? Do you think it's valid, or do you think in cases like that they're using fairness as a crutch?
It could go either or, because that I'm thinking about it. If we use the example of like CEOs or like certain careers, a lot of the times when couples want to start families, usually it's the woman staying at home, being, you know, the housewife, being stay-at-home mom. And a lot of the times it's the husband that goes back to work. And I don't know, and this really depends, because if you decide to switch the narrative and be like, okay, well, me as a mom, I'll go back to work after maternity leave, and then the husband stays home and takes care of the kids. Why not that? And it really just depends on the couple and the situation, you know.
It's subjective.
To each their own. It is really subjective. It really depends.
A hard conversation.
It's a hard conversation to have, because you have to analyze like each person's situation and why they decided to work that way, things out in that way. But like I said, we all have to do our own parts individually, because I can't control like how you treat others fairly. I can only control my own actions. So if I do my part every day in making sure that, you know, I treat others kindly and fairly as well as I can, and everybody tries to do the same, then we could probably get somewhere.
Okay.
Progress. You know, we don't have to change the world in a night, but like
make strides to at least get to that point.
Just making a little bit of progress can just go a long way.
Okay. I agree. I'm gonna, before we go, we have a Am I the Asshole story for you guys, but I want to share one of the responses when it comes to that before we go on to that subject. Jesse says, I'm a believer that nothing is ever truly fair. Equality seems to be more common form of measurement. The issue is who is responsible for deciding what is equal or fair. I think if fairness was possible, I would choose it over equality, because it would go by need and not by a rigid decision across the board. Not everybody need is the same, and equality will end up leaving people behind, but fairness will allow individuals' needs to be met to bring everyone to a certain equality. I love how she broke that down.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I also love Crystal's response, because there's really no such thing as equality and fairness going hand in hand.
Because if you think about it, if you, let's say we do live in a society where things are treated fairly, don't have the mindset of, oh my God, but that person's getting that's not fair. No. Take a step back, because if we're truly living in a society where things are striving to be fair, instead of saying that, say, oh wow, change your perspective. Wow, if I'm not getting that, but they must really need it. What's going on in their situation that they need that certain thing to make it fair for them. Like,
I also feel like entitlement ruins the process of equality and fairness, because the entitlement behind it is like, damn, why should this person get a pass when I have to work my ass off? But they don't see the fact that the other person that's getting the fairness treatment is basically being matched up, because even though it's equal, they need that fairness factor because they were in a handicapped situation on the process to getting where you were. That's why perspective, it's everything. It's everything, because if you change your mindset to, damn, they must really need it then. But because we're so entitled, we overlook that. Okay. So, let us know how you guys feel. I really like that question I asked. I think it's honestly healing. And again, with this 21-day project, it's only going to get better. So Nate's going to break down Am I the Asshole story for us. And let's see what she got, y'all. Make sure you hit us up. Let us know what you thought about this questionnaire that I've been asking around. And if you would like to participate in that, hit me up on social media, Logic142 or the 1424 podcast, yo. You can even hit up Nate. Yeah. Break us down with the Am I the Asshole? All right. So, my 30 female best friend just got engaged, and it's making me resent my partner, 29 female. How do I move forward? Hold on. The female's talking about this, not the male, right? Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. So it says, my best friend just got engaged, and it's making me resent my partner. How do I move forward? So the person saying the story, their best friend is a female, 30 years old, and then their partner is 29 female. So this is a guy saying this? It's either a guy or it's a gay couple. Okay. So I don't know. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, continue. Well, whatever. So my best friend of 10 plus years just called to tell me she got engaged with her boyfriend. I am beyond happy for her. He is so patient and kind and will be an amazing spouse and father.
He got exactly the ring she wanted with 2 huge diamonds, went above and beyond planning a proposal in Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then a more intimate proposal at a very fancy dinner. He even booked their engagement photos in Paris before they go home. While being so happy for my bestie, she deserves all of this happiness. I can't help but feel resentful towards my partner, 29 female. My girlfriend is my first, okay, so it says here, my girlfriend is my first woman partner since I came out.
So it is a gay couple.
And I have heard so much about how romantic women-to-women relationships usually are. I found that my partner isn't romantic towards me at all, and hearing my BFF's engagement story made me sad and realized that I truly don't think my partner would go to those lengths to marry me. For reference, she made a digital painting of her ex's dogs and had it printed on a long board for her birthday. I would be in tears if someone did something like that for me. She took me to a last-minute dinner for my birthday this year, did nothing for Valentine's Day, and hasn't done much throughout our first year of dating. I even told her that my receiving love language is gift-giving and acts of service. For Valentine's Day, I made a card with a collage of us and our favorite things and got her an engraved carabiner. For her birthday this year, I was tight on money, but I still made her a custom charm necklace with charms, and I found that resembled her. It's been over a week, and she still hasn't even worn it. We've had really bad fights where she yells and will be degrading while I keep my cool. She's told me to go find a sugar daddy when I asked her to pay a little more in rent than splitting 50-50. She makes 6 figures, and I'm currently a barista in between jobs. She's made me feel so materialistic when I just want to feel loved. I don't know, maybe I am irrational or selfish for feeling this way. I've had a feeling that my partner and I won't work out. Maybe I just need an act on it, and this is a sign I need to end it. I don't know how to move forward with this.
Ooh, that's interesting. I'll let you take this one.
Okay. Just because it's a same-sex relationship, you know, women to women, that doesn't mean that it's going to be more romantic. You have to look at it as this is your romantic partner, and are they treating you and loving you the way that you deserve to be treated and loved?
Okay.
In this specific instance, damn, it's hard because we only know one story. We only know one side.
Yeah.
And if we're assuming that her partner doesn't really, like, is not really in love with her, then
From what they say.
Obviously through her actions, you can tell
Actions speak louder than words.
actions speak louder than words. You know, every relationship really is different. You have to communicate with your partner about what it is that you want. You can't expect them to read your mind. I know that she's said before, like, that she likes acts of service and gift giving as her love language. I don't know how often she's told her that, but whatever. I really think this is something that she needs to talk to her partner about, because thinking back on me, like, you know, my love language is, like, I love spending time with my partner. You know, sometimes
your love language is companionship.
I adore companionship. I adore like that. What's it called? I guess words of affirmation.
Okay.
Just more so like talking.
Reinforcement of engagement, of promotion, of love and affection.
Yeah.
PDA, but not public display,
Right.
but intimate display when it's just y'all two.
For me, PDA is like, I don't do a lot of PDA just because of how I was raised. You know, my family.
Could have had me fooled.
My family's very, like, my parents aren't really PDA. Very respectful. So in front of them and in front of anyone, I try to be very respectful and not, like, you know, tongue down my boyfriend's throat, like.
Unless there's another girl checking him out, it's like, nah, this is mine.
Exactly.
This is mine.
That's something that I'll do, like,
house.
behind doors, you know. But, you know, again, like I said, communication. This is something that I've obviously worked towards because maybe he's different. Maybe he does like a little bit of PDA, you know. We got to compromise a little bit. But I try to make sure that I, you know, have conversations with my boyfriend about what the things that I like and the things that he likes, because he also deserves to be loved in the way that he wants to. I think in this situation, she just needs to talk to her partner. But if she really isn't
Do you think
showing
she's
up
the
for her,
asshole?
I don't think she's the asshole.
Okay.
I
do.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Well, I'll let you finish and then I'll get into it. Because you know I'm going to cook.
I mean, she's in a relationship with her girlfriend. She has certain expectations. What's that word I'm looking for?
Hold on. Let me do my senses because, you know, I got to turn into Miss Cleo. What is the word she's looking for?
So, before you date someone, you don't want to, like, settle for less. You have... Standards, yes. Okay. Thank you. So, everyone deserves to have standards. Never settle. You know, if you... Like you have a certain type of woman, you know, you...
Yep. I have what I want of a woman.
Right. So for her in the story, it would be the same thing. And if over time her girlfriend isn't really making her feel loved, she needs to talk about it with her partner. And if the relationship has to end, then so be it. I mean, everyone's entitled to share their side.
Okay. So I say she's an asshole.
Okay.
And it goes back to something you said. Notice she is looking at her friend's relationship, and you said it yourself. We put up that video. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh my God.
You see where I'm going now?
Yeah.
Why I call her the asshole?
Right.
Because, guys, check it out. The moment you start comparing what God gave you to what he gave someone else, you rob yourself of that blessing and you rob yourself of that joy.
You're right.
Comparison is a horrible thing to do. And I say that because you're looking at all these things that the next person want, which tells me you're not satisfied. You don't value what you got. You are bringing up certain things you don't like. You'll take it and share it on the web, on Am I the Asshole Reddit, but you said that you have communicated this with your partner. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You get what I'm saying? But to compare your relationship, that tells me you don't respect your partner. That tells me you don't respect your relationship, because what's for you will be for you. That is your relationship. That's something you've been blessed with. And in my opinion, you don't appreciate that, to be out here comparing it to the next person's relationship, because all the glitter is not gold. You get what I'm saying? She sees her friend getting this nice treatment, the woo-ha, hoo-hens, and whatnot. However, what's crazy is you don't know if they're actually really happy.
Right.
The amount of people that put on a facade of happiness is outstanding and crazy, and sometimes, in my opinion, delusional. Also, something that I also take note, this is her first gay relationship.
Yeah.
She's never been with a woman, from what she said.
Apparently not.
So your reasoning is, she said it, she was told that, you know, being with a woman, it's better than being with a guy because it's more intimate and whatnot.
Or romantic.
More romantic. That tells me you're searching for something that you don't have. But what you're searching for, you have to create for yourself. You can't put that on the next person. That's selfish. You are responsible for your happiness. There's nothing wrong with saying what your love language is. There's nothing of wanting to receive your love language from your partner. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if it's something that you have communicated with your partner and they're not doing it, like you said, maybe this is not for you. But you're already in the wrong direction because you're still not being attentive to your relationship. This goes back to, remember what I told you? Like, when I was in a relationship, I would try not to chill with other couples, because what ends up happening, you know, oh, look what he's doing for her. That's so sweet. Why are you getting distracted? Value what we have.
Yeah.
If, as a man, I'm not worried about the other person's relationship because it has nothing to do with us.
I have something.
Go.
Okay. So let's say you're hanging out with a couple, and this couple does something that you find interesting. You're like, oh my God, we've never done that before. Instead of saying, why don't you do that for me? Change your perspective. Switch it. Be like, huh?
We should do that.
be like, you know what's a great idea that we haven't done? We should start doing that. Like you have to take accountability, because if this is a new if this is a new thing that you're seeing another couple doing that you've never thought of before, then it's safe to assume that your partner has also not thought of it before either. So maybe say it like,
educate them.
So maybe say like, oh my God, like babe, did you just see what fulanito did to fulanita? That's so romantic. It never occurred to me, but that actually looks pretty romantic. We should do that.
But
Can you
that's
please,
dangerous, though.
You know, but why is it? You're just communicating like.
That's not what's dangerous. Sorry to cut you off.
Right.
What's dangerous about that is you can set yourself for disappointment.
I mean, it depends on how you communicate it with.
I don't mean it in that way. I say you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because when you act on something expecting a detailed result, if it doesn't come out the way you want to, you will only be disappointed, and that's your fault.
Right. Well,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
why
That's
you're
why I
supposed
said-
to talk about it in detail.
No, I get what you're saying. You can still talk about it in detail, but remember, just like you have a love language, so do they. You get what I'm saying? And it may not be that way where it's like, I'm sorry, I'm just not that person.
Okay. So let's say an example. Let's say you and me in a relationship, and then we hang out with like a relationship couple from your job, and they do something that's like, you know, a little bit romantic, and I'm like, oh my God, we don't do that. Like in my head, I'm like, we don't do that. Let's say it's the way that they have inside jokes or that they act around each other. I could probably go to you and say, oh my God, like, you know, the way that they handle the relationship, it kind of inspires me to try something new in ours. Why don't we, I don't know, let's create a new handshake, or let's say like secret jokes, like, you know, like not do exactly what they're doing,
But, like, build something.
but build something off of their inspiration.
Can
like,
I play devil's advocate with you real quick?
okay, sure.
Okay, I'm going to give you the positive side of that and the negative side of that. Which one do you want first?
The negative.
The negative, right? Okay. You'll be like, okay, you know, I'll be like, okay, yeah, babe, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I like where we're at.
Okay.
And I don't feel comfortable going that way. That's not who I am.
You ask me why did that inspire you?
Why did that inspire you? You know how, mind, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Right.
Why are you, is what we have not good enough? Mm-hmm. Like, why does that matter to you? I thought me loving you the way I love was perfect for you. Why are you comparing it to theirs? I thought what we had was special.
Okay.
What's going on with you?
Now, what's the positive side to that?
That's me. I don't want to say me being negative. That's me being on the defense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Me being on the offense is like, you know what, love, you're right. We could do that. You know, we could basically explore each other again. We could revisit this again. And I think that's essential to a healthy relationship, is actually doing that.
Try doing both. So,
What do you mean both?
so you can start off. So if you say that to me, I can say something like, I hear you. It's not a bad idea. We can definitely try something new. So agreeing with your partner and agreeing to attempting to do the thing that inspired her, and then saying, but out of curiosity, like, is there any specific reason as to why it inspired you to try something new? Because as far as like I'm concerned, or my memory, like, you don't really seem to be into that stuff, or maybe why haven't we thought about this before?
I mean,
you know,
it could also backfire too, because remember, we don't know what our partner is going through and where they are in the mind. It could actually make the person feel insecure too, believe it or not. Because if you I'm saying I'm not like that, but say you come to me with that, and my response is like, you could basically, I could be in my head, may not say it to you, but like, damn, I thought she was happy. You know what I'm saying? Even though you properly explained it, but
Right.
I think that's another thing that
no,
comes
but
with
that's
it, is the
important to
fear.
say out loud, because
It is.
because if you tell me straight up, okay, you know exactly what you said. Are you not happy with me, or
Because
I could
you would
say-
think something's wrong.
Right.
It's not saying there's something wrong, but the natural defense is like, oh, I thought we were good. You
I
know?
think deep down, so I can relate to a past relationship. I guess from personal experience, I could say something along the lines of, you know, I guess I'm just jealous. You know, they just seem so cool. I guess I low-key have insecurities of my own. I think I'm not cool enough.
Let's work on your insecurities.
You know,
How would you respond to that?
Okay, how do we start doing that? Like, I don't know where to start. Because if the other couple is doing something very specific that inspires me to be, wow, I kind of want to do that. That's so romantic, or that's so funny, that's so cool. Okay, so like, why is it cool? Why does that inspire me? For me personally, when I was younger, I was afraid that I wasn't like cool enough, like I want my partner to be my best friend. I want them to think that I'm funny. And if they don't think I'm funny, if they don't think I'm cool, maybe they don't like me that way. Maybe they care about me because we established a relationship and they like being intimate with me. But what if they don't like being goofy with me? What if they think doing a secret handshake is cringe, or doing something romantic?
But this is
to
where
me?
it comes to compromise, because what you're not willing to do, another person is. So it's like, it's a delicate situation.
Or if we're speaking about this specific situation where oh my god, he went out of his way to hire a photographer, plan a trip to Paris, this and that.
How
Why?
romantic.
That's romantic, babe. I just wish you would do that. I know, and then take accountability. I know I should have brought this up sooner to your attention. I want to feel loved in that way.
But also, do you feel like that could bring on jealousy too?
In what way? Like,
Because it's like, okay, we're together, you're telling me what your friend did and how you find it romantic, and it's like, what, do you want to be with him? Am I not good enough for you? Because mind you,
okay, I
and
see
it also
you.
depends, because in my opinion, hopefully you're not with a toxic person. That's like the breathing ground to someone might feel gaslit.
right.
Or it might feel like, oh, I think my partner's narcissistic because
That's different.
is it not good? You get what I'm saying? That
I don't-
hole
yeah.
not good enough for you. It can go down the rabbit hole in such a bad manner.
I wouldn't even know how to handle that situation.
But you see what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like how dark it can get.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys, guys, let us know what you think, yo, because that's a tough one. But final thoughts before we close out.
She needs to talk to her girlfriend.
Do you think she's an asshole now, or do you still feel
It
like
definitely gives me perspective on what you said. I don't necessarily think that she's the asshole. Because if what she's saying is true, I don't you deserve to have a partner that cares about you in that way. But if you don't communicate to your partner early on in the relationship about how it is you like to be loved, then you like Jason said, a baby who doesn't cry doesn't get fed. And if you're with a partner that isn't really well organized, doesn't really do well with that sort of romantic planning, that's just not in them, then you got to take that in consideration. You got to be like, okay, don't expect such a big thing from them, and realize, is this a person that I truly want to be with?
So on my end, I still say she's the asshole, because from the looks of it, from what she said in that story, at one point she was straight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you also have to understand, you're with a woman. Women are naturally catered to. Just because you're in a relationship, you have two sexes
Right.
who are
I mean-
normally catered to.
Right,
You know what I'm
but this is
saying?
a
But her
gay
friend-
relationship we're talking about, so I don't
but
know.
her friend is in a straight relationship, and all that romantic things being done was being done by a man.
So who's technically
who's the man in this? You get what I'm saying? Because
or who's the dominant one?
Yeah, like you're with a woman. Women are not programmed to be like that.
I don't know.
Versus
I don't know.
Men are. You get what I'm saying? Now, does it give you better context of it?
I
'Cause
guess,
it's like,
yeah.
Men are wired to be like that. Women are nurturers. Men are protectors, right?
I get
so,
you.
in my opinion, and the way I see it, you're comparing a straight relationship to a gay relationship. That's a big no-no. The one common thing is love.
I think a big no-no is just comparing relationships
Facts.
regardless, because comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes, but also at the same time, you are you're asking a woman to think like a man. that's where it gets
She's the
lost
man.
in the sauce. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, yo, you're the asshole. Like, you're not, I don't think you really thought about your relationship and understand what you're dealing with. That's another woman. I'm not saying women can't be romantic. That's not what I'm saying at all. But 9 out of 10 times, who's the one doing the romantic shit? The man, because he's trying to wow the woman. You get what I'm saying? Make her dream come true. But now you're with another woman where both y'all want to have your dreams come true, but who's going to play that position? And now that you bring that up to terms, why ain't she doing that?
I don't know. This is a question to ask a lesbian relationship. I don't know.
It's crazy. But, yeah, that's my final thoughts. Well, guys, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on my Instagram. It's my first name, Natalie. NATALI. 2 E's _01. Yeah, I switched it up today.
It's your gearhead, Joe. You can find me at Logic142. Make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. We got more content coming out the way, more videos. I'm loving the interaction, and we're going to keep this 21-day project going. I'm happy with it because it's exposing. Remember, 21 days to build a habit, 21 days to break a habit, 21 days of actually engaging somebody. We about to see some things, and I'm loving the feedback. Thank you for all those who are participating. I'll keep you updated. And as you know, this is one thing for sure,
Two things for certain. Woo!
Okay,
Love
we
you
got-
guys.